the most relevant issues affecting the workplace, as well as the human resource patterns being positioned to solve them on The Office. Get notifications on available job listings and advice on how to apply from featured experts in the industry every Thursday from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. Only on Lagos Talks 91.3.
Welcome to The Office on Lagos Talks 91.3. My name is Michelle Ago, and on The Office today, we're talking about virtual work and employee well-being. But before we get into today's conversation, I'd like you to remember that The Office is proudly brought to you by the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria and Lagos Talks 91.3 FM. My guest joining me is a senior fellow and full-time faculty of Lagos Business School, Pan Atlantic University. He is the academic director of the Global Chief Executive Program and leads sessions in leadership, HRM, organizational behavior, management communication, and negotiation at the school. He had held various senior administrative positions at the school as Director of Executive Education, MBA Director, and Director of Alumni Relations. Before joining LBS, my guest was Managing Director of Heaven Consults, a human resource consulting firm, and CEO of CBSSL Limited. He is the Chairman of the Education Committee of CIPM and Chairman of the Planning Committee of the second CIPM International Academic Conference. My guest today, everyone, is Mr. Henry Onukwuba, MCIPM. Welcome, sir. This is The Office.
Thank you very much for having me. Please confirm that you can hear me very well.
Yes, I can hear you absolutely well, loud and clear. Today, we're discussing virtual work and employee well-being. For the sake of clarity, what is virtual work?
Virtual work is simply working from outside a geographical or physical location,
Okay.
hitherto designated as an office space or a place of work of an organization. It could be working from home or working from a remote location aided by technology, which is what we call telecommuting.
All right, that's good. Now, since the COVID-19 pandemic, it seems many organizations have embraced virtual work. Obviously, has virtual work come to stay? What do you think? Do you think it's here to stay, or we might revert back to the usual on-site workflow?
Well, before the COVID pandemic, we used to say the future of work, how it will look like. Now the future is here. So it's no longer the future, but the now of work. And one of the main features of this now of work is virtual work. Like a baby who has tasted ice cream for a while, and now you want to take it away from him. Many workers are resisting going back to the office, having tested the flexibility and the convenience of working from home or working virtually. So it has come to stay. Last year, I did a consulting job for a firm, and over 50% of the firm's workers had resigned, and some were on their way out. What was the issue? The MD of the firm had insisted that all staff should come back to the office, since according to him, the COVID pandemic was over. But the staff did not want to. So at the end, we had to convince the MD to adopt a hybrid policy. So in a research done recently by the Pew Research Center, they found out that nearly 90% of the people who have been able to work from home during the pandemic do not want to go back to the office full time, even if it is safe to do so. And as a professor of management at the University College London, London School of Management, his name is Anthony Kloss.
Okay.
In May 2021, he came up with the phrase, the Great Resignation. And according to him, surveys show that 40% of employees have either quit or thinking of quitting their jobs. One of the main reasons for this, he pointed out, was that people wanted to continue working from home after the pandemic, but their bosses won't let them. So my conclusion is that virtual work has come to stay, and employers and managers must embrace this new reality.
All right. Now, are there any advantages of virtual work over the traditional working from, a one location physical office? What are some of the advantages, if at all?
Surprisingly, many people were more productive working from home during the pandemic than they were before the pandemic. So yes, there are advantages. One of them is flexibility.
Okay.
Job flexibility gives employees the liberty to choose when, where, and how to carry out their assigned tasks. Findings show that flexible working arrangements create happy employees. It enables employee engagement and loyalty. Virtual work has been found to reduce exhaustion, reduce supervisory pressure, and emotional distress while increasing employee job satisfaction. There was a study done in Kenya last year by a guy called Ami Vundi of St. Paul's University, Kenya. He found out that employees' ingenuity, innovativeness, and self-motivation are enhanced while working virtually. And these have assisted them in carrying out their assigned tasks better in virtual work arrangements and with minimal supervision. Employees were also found to be quicker in making decisions and to even work beyond normal office hours as they were motivated and they had the self-awareness to do their job well, and this resulted in improved job performance. So yes, there are lots of advantages from virtual work.
All right. This is The Office on Lagos Talks 91.3. We'll go on a quick commercial break and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Zero 165-7896. Heritage Bank 1400-234-900. Global Bank 1000-128-194. Nothing you give is too big or too small. Thank you and God bless. Peter Obi and Ahmed Dati for Nigerian President and Vice President 2023. This message is from the Labour Party Obi Dati Presidential Campaign Council. Oh God, no man can tell. No matter what you do, you choose you. It don't set. Hey, our mood on. Our friend don't be set. Shy. Nigeria, my country, our mumu don't do. Them say, hey, we don't want thing. No, the go carry. The same old parties, them plus the old people, we don't feel us tire. It was. I say it was. Put these correct guys, them with their brain sharp. Their body, they can't pay plus. They don't get time for corruption. Mr. Peter Obi and Yusuf Baba Ahmed. Now the guys who helped turn Nigeria to African Dubai. My brother, my sister, it don't set. We take back Nigeria. God, that's no matter what you do, you don't set. Be obedient and useful. What Labour Party? What for Papa Mama Pikin? Great Nigerians, great obedience. You can now kindly donate directly to the Obi Dati Campaign Victory Fund in any of the verified bank's accounts. Zero Bank 1241-950-451. Sterling Bank 009-165-7896. Heritage Bank 1400-234-900. Global Bank 1000-128-194. Nothing you give is too big or too small. Thank you and God bless. Peter Obi and Ahmed Dati for Nigerian President and Vice President 2023. This message is from the Labour Party Obi Dati Presidential Campaign Council.
Great Nigerians, great obedience. You can help and donate directly to the Obidati Campaign Victory Fund in any of the verified banks' accounts. Zero Bank 1241 950 451. Sterling Bank 009 165 7896. Heritage Bank 1400 234 900. Global Bank 1000 128 194. Nothing you give is too big or too small. Thank you and God bless. Peter Obi and Ahmed Dati for Nigerian President and Vice President 2023. This message is from the Labour Party Obi Dati Presidential Campaign Council.
Welcome back. It is The Office on Lagos Talks 91.3. My guest is here, Mr. Henry Onukwuba, and today we're discussing the virtual work arrangements and employee well-being. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right. Now, back to my questions. I'm still trying to understand the impact of virtual work. Can virtual work impact employees' well-being? If yes, how is this possible? You mentioned earlier that one of your friends' company had called their staff to return back to office or return back to work physically after the COVID pandemic because, you know, the pandemic was over and he needed them back to report at work, but they all resigned because they were not interested in going back. So is there anything special about the virtual work arrangements? Does it affect or impact the well-being of employees?
Yeah, so, you know, everything that has an advantage has a disadvantage. Okay. While virtual work gives you flexibility, gives you independence of choice of how to work, virtual work, yes, increases employee productivity, but it could also lead to employee burnout. There was a study done in 2020 by Walter Matley of the University of South Africa. That study reveals that most employees working virtually usually overwork themselves by working well beyond the official work hours. And they won't understand how this is affecting them. There's another study done in Nigeria just last year. It found out that despite the advantages of virtual work, there were issues with it. There was this issue of isolation. You are working alone, away from the care and the company of your friends in the office. And this isolation escalates stress levels, mental health issues, and it brings a lower motivational drive. And many managers seem not to be able to draw the line between work time and family time for the employees working from home. So these are the issues and the sources of, you know, stress, which impacts on the well-being of the employee working virtually.
All right. Now, so given what you've just said, how can HR ensure that line managers do not encroach into the personal time of employees?
Yeah, you know, talking about well-being, you know, it could be lonely working remotely, like I said before. So there should be a system of effective communication, because poor communication and lack of social connection affect well-being. So what should be done? Managers should encourage frequent communication with their virtual workers. They should call or chat them up periodically, not just to check up, but also to check in. You know, there's a difference between the two.
Okay.
To check in is to find out how somebody is feeling, to show care and concern. To check up is to discuss work issues, to find out if the deadlines have been met. So apart from checking up, check in periodically. You know, there should be team bonding virtual meetings. It is possible. At Lagos Business School, where I work at, before the pandemic, we will have monthly birthday and work anniversary celebration and cocktail reception every last Monday of the month. I recall that the first last Monday of the month after the pandemic, during the lockdown, we actually held a virtual birthday and anniversary celebration. It was fun. The only difference was that there was no small chops and drinks that normally come with it. But we had fun. And we continued it every month until we went back to the office. So this is one thing we can do. Even as faculty members, we have virtual faculty hangouts. Studies have also shown that organizations who have found this creative means for social cohesion and who are able to have frequent contact with their virtual workers have more committed and motivated workforce, because employers' care and support are found to be empowering, and these engender emotional well-being, better emotional well-being, and assist the employees to be industrious. Now, on the issue of encroaching on the workers' personal time, there's a law in France enacted in 2016. It's called the right to disconnect. This law is also known as the right to rest, and it is now applicable in most parts of Europe, such as in Italy, in Spain, in Germany, in Portugal, in Canada, and in the Philippines. The law gives a worker the right to be able to disengage from work and refrain from engaging in any work-related electronic communication, such as emails or other messages, during non-work hours. The law makes it illegal for your boss to text you for work-related issues, and even if he or she does, to demand response from you after the work hours. And this law also prohibits employers from monitoring what the employees are doing, working from home. I think we need such a law in Nigeria. I think employers and employees should sit down and agree when the work starts and when it ends. And we're not saying the conventional 8 to 5 or 9 to 5. If you work best from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. or from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., as long as you have met your normal work hours, the employee should be able to do other things with his or her life. People need to be allowed their personal space. There should be family or private time, and there should be work-life balance. So I think that is what we should be doing, in this country.
All right, thank you. Now, we all agree that this conversation is a big one. How is CIPM taking this up? You talked about, yes, this should even be a law in Nigeria. Is CIPM taking this up, doing anything to educate young people appropriately? Is there a forum where people can learn more?
Yeah, very well. Luckily, the CIPM is organizing an international academic conference. It's the second in the series, in collaboration with Leeds City University. The conference we hold from March 14 to 15 is a 2-day conference, and the conference will discuss these issues and others. People need to be educated on this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You mentioned an academic conference, partnership with Leeds University. Please tell us more about it. What's the theme, the dates, mode of attendance, and how can people register?
Thank you very much. The conference is aimed at bridging the gap between the town and the ground, between theory and practice. Because of the current political climate, the conference will now hold totally virtually. So it's going to be a 2-day virtual conference. The theme of the conference is the commencement of AFCFTA, opportunities for the work environment. Now, the conference will feature 2 plenary sessions. There will be a panel discussion, and there will be over 40 technical sessions. We have 8 sub-themes, which will be discussed at the technical sessions. Some of these sub-themes are the impact of AFCFTA on HR theory and practice, curricula and skills for cross-boundary employability, building an inclusive work environment and adaptable workforce, virtual work and employee well-being, which is the topic we are discussing, and many others. Yeah.
All right. Now, looking at the topic of discuss today, how does it connect to the theme of this academic conference? Is there some sort of relationship?
Yes, there is. There is.
Okay.
Because one of the objectives of the African Continental Free Trade Area is to create a single market for goods and services, facilitated by movement of persons in order to deepen the economic integration of the African continent. Now, this opening up of the African continent for intertrade in goods and services is expected to encourage organizations to set up businesses outside their head offices or original geographical areas of operation. So to do this, they will need to hire local workers in these satellite locations, some of whom will be reporting to the head office remotely. So there is a likelihood of a surge in the level of virtual work within these Pan-African organizations when the AFCFTA becomes fully operational. So employee well-being becomes something that we should be talking about.
All right. Now, from a layman's perspective, what are the benefits of attending this conference?
So much to benefit.
Okay, tell us about it.
We have lined up distinguished speakers and panelists from all over Africa. It's an international conference. From Nigeria, we have Professor Patu Tony.
Okay.
From South Africa, we have Ms. Tiki Bernard, who is the founder of Shared Value Initiative and Shift Impact Africa. We also have, coming from Ghana, Dr. Farid Kwesi Ato, who is the National Coordinator AFCFTA in Ghana. And then we have Madam Kweresha Abdullahi, who is the Executive Director, Institute of Human Resource Management in Kenya, which is the equivalent of CIPM in Nigeria. We also have Denita Gyang, who is the Senior Advisor to the AFCFTA Secretary General on Customs, who will join us from Ghana. We have Ms. Winket Mutini, Senior Program Manager, Pan-African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, supervising over 40 chambers of commerce and industry, joining us from Ethiopia. And then we have Mr. Francis Anatol, who is the immediate past secretary of the Nigeria's National Action Committee on AFCFTA, who will be joining us from UK. Now, the chairman of the conference will be Professor Kayode Adebowale, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Ibadan. And like I said earlier, we have over 40 papers on various sub-themes to be presented by experts in various areas. So it's going to be a loaded and exciting academic expedition.
Sounds amazing. Sounds good. Can non-academics attend the event? Non-academic?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. So it's an academic conference, but our target audience, apart from academics, include HR professionals, chief executives and captains of industry, policymakers, entrepreneurs, anybody who wishes to tap into the opportunities that AFTA provides, administrators, students, undergraduates, postgraduates, members of the public. And it's very affordable. It's just 25,000 Naira for the 2 days. Okay. And if you are a member of CIPM, you pay just 20,000 Naira. And if you're a student, you just pay 10,000 Naira for such learning experience. Fantastic.
All right. Any final words before we go?
Well, the AFCFTA has been described as the biggest thing happening in the world economic space right now. The AFCFTA is the world's biggest free trade area, comprising 55 nations of the African Union and 8 regional economic communities. The broad objective of this AFCFTA is to create a sole continental market with an estimated population of 1.3 billion people and an expected GDP of 3.4 trillion US dollars. According to the World Bank, AFCFTA will offer great opportunity to lift 30 million Africans out of extreme poverty and to increase the incomes of 68 million people who live below $5.50 per day. So we should know what the AFCFTA is all about. We should know how to tap into this great economic and life-changing opportunity. This is what this conference provides. This is the opportunity the conference provides.
Mm-hmm.
And is a much needed platform. So everybody should be part of it. In fact, do not miss it. You will regret if you do. My final words. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Henry Onukwuba. We do appreciate you for joining the conversation today on The Office. We look forward to more details as regards this very interesting conference coming up. And should you have more details to share with our listeners, we're very well happy to have you return with us. Have a beautiful evening. Thanks again for joining us. All right.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Bye. Bye.